Hi, Movie Minute Recaps here. I'm going to discuss the crime/thriller film Nightcrawler today. Warning: this contains spoilers. Be cautious and mindful. The film opens in the middle of the night in Los Angeles, where Lou, our main character, first appears. He is a thief who is now trying to break down a train yard fence gate. Shortly after, a security guard apprehends him. Taking aback at the gate's destruction, Lou starts to comply when the guard asks for his ID, but he keeps saying he's innocent. Suddenly, though, he takes the guard's watch and flees with the barrier. Lou shows up to a junkyard in the scene that follows and sells the fence he stole. He wants a stable work, so he asks the owner whether he may be recruited. Lou says he was an excellent student in school and works hard at his job, but the owner dismisses him, saying he doesn't employ thieves. Lou leaves in frustration and heads home, passing several police cars parked close to the scene of an accident. He pulls his car over to the side of the road and approaches the site, intrigued. Then he sees that 2 camera crews are recording the mishap. Lou observes carefully as the wounded victim is removed from the automobile by the cops. When they are done, Lou goes over to Joe, one of the cameramen, and inquires as to which channel he is employed by. In response, the latter says he will sell the video to the network that offers the most compensation. Lou is curious and tries to get more information, but Joe leaves after getting a call regarding another incident. Lou is still thinking about what he witnessed earlier when he gets home. After that, he turns on the TV and starts to switch between the channels. He eventually sees the accident footage on one of the news networks as morning breaks. Lou brings a road bike to a pawn shop after stealing it the previous day. Then he trades it in for a radio interceptor and a camera. He hopes to learn about any local events by tuning in to the police radio while sitting in his car that evening. When he soon learns of one, he heads straight to the specified site. He starts shooting a man who was attacked by a carjacker and is critically hurt when he gets there. However, he approaches the situation so closely that the police had to eject every cameraman. Joe gets upset and chastises him for interfering with his work as a result. Later, Lou meets with Nina, the director, at KWA6, a news channel. The amount of bloodshed strikes her as she sees the footage. She chooses to buy it because she thinks viewers would find it captivating. Lou offers a significant amount during the price negotiation, but Nina provides him a fraction of what he requested, which he accepts. When he asks if there are any internship or employment options, Nina says no. Rather, she suggests that he continue recording such material and forward it to her. She claims that watching an affluent white person become the victim of an assault is the most exciting thing to watch. Lou is overjoyed to see his clip on television when he gets home later. He is seen waiting for someone at a restaurant in the morning. It turns out that Rick, a young man, is being interviewed by him to be his assistant. When the man shows up shortly after, it's clear that he's broke and has never worked in this industry before. Nevertheless, after some discussion, Lou agrees to give him a meager $30 per night. The two spend the evening in their automobile, listening to the police radio. Lou gives Rick the directives to repeat the directions out loud while he drives if they learn about an accident. Then he starts driving like a crazy man, which makes Rick anxious and leads him to offer the wrong directions. Consequently, they are 5 minutes late to the site after the victim has been taken away by ambulance and another cameraman has already started filming. This infuriates Lou, who chastises Rick for his error. They arrive there just in time to hear about another event that occurs shortly after. They find out that a house has been robbed, but nothing noteworthy can be found on camera. Lou enters the residence covertly while the police are preoccupied. After looking all over the kitchen, he finally discovers gunshot holes in the refrigerator. In order to incorporate the gunshot holes in a single frame, he captures images and rearranges family portraits. The victim pair is then surreptitiously recorded by him while they converse with the police. Lou then plays the video for Nina, who is blown away. She is sure that their ratings would soar since they are the only ones who have the victims' actual faces. Her coworker thinks the notion is trespassing and is not delighted with it. But Nina brushes off his worry, complimenting Lou on a job well done. Lou and Rick record a ton of new footage of terrifying situations over the course of the following few days. Lou makes a substantial sum of money by continuing to sell them to Nina. He purchases a faster car for work and updates his equipment with his earnings. Lou shows up at a car crash scene one night in order to get information. The driver approaches a dead body in the distance and records some movies while he is preoccupied. To obtain better photos, he even shifts the body to an area that is lit by headlights. Later, he plays the video for Nina, who is once more taken aback. Lou takes the chance to ask her out on a date after she gives him his money. Nina declines, saying that she would rather keep their relationship professional even though it seems like she could like him. However, we learn in the following scene that Lou was able to get Nina to agree to a dinner date. She responds that they are just on a polite date when he asks her to be his lover. Then Lou informs her that prior to him starting to sell his movies, her station had the lowest ratings in the region. He threatens her, saying he will cease selling her his footage if she doesn't agree to his terms. When Nina notices his changed attitude, she is taken aback and finds herself forced to comply with his demands. When Lou gets there after the plane accident the following day, he finds that all of the film has already been recorded. He is let down. He only manages to take a few haphazard clips, which he then shows Nina. She lashes out at him, criticizing him for not being able to get the exclusive videos. When Lou gets home, he is furious and rants in front of his mirror before breaking it. Later, H finds out from the press that Joe was the one who originally got the footage. Lou destroys his van's brakes in a fit of wrath and dashes to his house. Soon after, Joe gets into a terrible vehicle accident on his way to work. Lou and Rick arrive at the scene right once, and the latter starts recording his rival choking to death. Rick becomes really uncomfortable and asks Lou to stop. The insane man, however, brushes off his worries, stating that they must carry out their duties. Lou overhears a police radio report about a shooting at a posh mansion a few days later. Before the police arrive, he races to the site and records two offenders driving away in their car. Lou then slips into the house, where a large number of corpses are found. Excitement fills him as he starts to video them from various perspectives. Among an attempt to evoke fear among viewers, Lou also records an empty baby cot. Not too long after, he finds a victim who is barely breathing and still alive. Lou, however, starts filming him instead of helping. He hastily flees the area as soon as he hears the sound of oncoming police sirens. Lou stops by the TV station in the following scene and shows Nina the exclusive footage. She doesn't seem to care that the other employee thinks it is unethical to release such material. Lou then makes a big money request, and he and Nina start haggling. Ultimately, she consents to give him a massive $15,000. Lou, however, is not content with this and starts outlining his demands. He is adamant that she had to give him anything he requests and that he would not bargain again. Additionally, he asks that the name of his business, Video Production News, appear in the TV broadcast subtitles. In addition, he insists that Nina present him to every worker, even her supervisors. Although Nina is perplexed by his coercive demands, she complies with them out of caution to avoid losing her TRP. Lou is watching his tape the following morning with a sense of pleasure when someone knocks on his door. As it happens, investigators are not buying that he was not involved in the incident. When they ask for a copy of the footage he shot, Lou gives it to them in an altered form that doesn't include the escaping criminals. Despite not having their video, he says he saw the offenders fleeing. Lou locates one of the crooks' homes after searching for their car plate online after the investigators go. When he and Rick get there in the evening, Lou tells Rick about his intention to manufacture an arrest and record it on camera. Hearing this, Rick is frightened and won't risk his life. He remarks that he feels it is unjust because Lou has been paying him $30 for several months. At that point, Rick threatens to report him to the police unless he gets an increase of $75 per night. Lou accepts his condition grudgingly, having no other option. They choose to pursue the criminals after they see them leave the premises shortly after. Soon after, the robbers enter a restaurant, and Lou seizes the chance to call the police. He says that the two armed suspects he saw in the restaurant last night are the same ones who killed a family. Next, the pair stands outside, prepared to record the instant the offenders are taken into custody. When the police finally arrive after some time, there is a shooting between the two groups. Sadly, two innocent individuals perish in the crossfire. While the other criminal escapes in his car, one of the other two is also slain. After that, Rick keeps filming the chasing police officers while Lou gets back in his car and begins to drive. The criminal's car flips over and smashes a few minutes later, ending the pursuit. Lou then parks his car close by and starts to record the corpses on camera. Claiming that the criminal is dead, he extends an invitation to Rick to come outdoors. Rick gladly accepts and begins recording the scene of the collision. However, a few moments later, he makes eye contact with the perpetrator, who is unharmed. Rick is instantly shot twice by him, falling to the ground. The culprit then makes an attempt to escape, but the cops shoot him dead shortly after. Lou records Rick as he is about to pass away and icily claims that he had him killed due to Rick's blackmail. He thinks that over time, Rick would have continued to demand more money. The impoverished child, however, replies that he was only bluffing and never would have followed through. Eventually, he passes away from his wounds, and Lou records a close-up of his face without even a trace of regret. Lou shows Nina the video in the next scene, and she is thrilled once more. Nina disagrees with the frightened remarks made by the other TV station employees that it is too much. Later, 2 police officers arrive and demand to see the film because it is evidence of a crime, just as she is getting ready to broadcast it. But she insists that it is hers and won't give it up. Lou agrees to go to the police station when the detective calls him later. He is accused by a police officer of hiding information and not disclosing specifics on the previous offenders. Lou lies and claims that the criminal's automobile was pursuing him when questioned why he was following them. He is called a monster by the detective, who also mentions that he killed his assistant and recorded his last moments. Lou says that's his job, with a simple smile. The policeman knows he's lying, but they don't have enough evidence to bring charges, so in the end, they let him go. In order to grow his company, Lou has acquired 2 vans and recruited a staff of 3 employees, as seen in the last scene. He says he won't pay them right now, but he thinks they'll pick up useful skills in the process. He says, "I will never ask them to do anything that I would not do myself," in a scathing tone.